10 reasons why your indie game doesn't stand out. Hundreds of games are being released, with thousands of screenshots and videos from these games being shared online every single day. Making your indie game stand out among so many competitors can definitely be challenging. So here's a list of 10 common mistakes to avoid if you want people to notice your game. Real quick, I'm D2, a professional 3D game artist working at Blizzard, and I'm here to show you how to avoid these mistakes. Number 1. Bad composition. Be intentional when it comes to presenting your game. Whether it's the cover art, an in-game cutscene, or just a random moment during gameplay. Think about what the main thing is that you want the players to focus on, and how to lead their eyes through your composition. What is the first thing your players should look at or focus on in the given moment? And what are the secondary details you want the players to notice, but not necessarily focus too much of their attention on? Your objective should be to smoothly guide the viewer's eyes to flow from the most important element in your scene to the next. There are many techniques to help guide a viewer's attention, which I'll explain in the next following points. Number 2. Not thinking about the focal point. The focal point is usually the main subject of your composition, or where you want your viewers to focus their attention first. When done correctly, the focal point will help establish the main subject of your composition and will attract your audience's attention quickly. Here, I'm going to flash 5 different compositions quickly on the scene. See what catches your attention the most. Alright, that was fast. But did any of the compositions catch your attention? Let me guess, the painting with the river did, right? It's made by Bob Ross.
Painting should always be fun. Should make you happy. That's when you're truly an artist.
I'm not saying that the other paintings are bad, but the reason why this composition stood out amongst the rest of the images shown is because it has a strong focal point being at where the river emerges from, all the way at the horizon. Even if you were to skim through it, it's hard not to get your eyes drawn towards it. There's a technique in art called the squint test, where you take a step back, squint your eyes together, and take a look at your art. This helps blur out all the less important details of a composition and allow you to easier identify where the main focal point is. A similar effect can also be achieved by drastically shrinking down your composition or looking at it from a distance away. If you want your indie game's cover art or screenshot to stand out and trend amongst thousands of other screenshots of games being shared on social media daily, you want to be sure to quickly capture a viewer's attention by having a strong focal point. Number 3. Not utilizing contrast. Contrast is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to directing your viewer's attention. When I say contrast, I don't just mean light versus dark. It's also shape, motion, size, and saturation. Here's a scene full of plain squares. Pretty hard to tell what you should be looking at, right? Now, if I play with the value a little bit, your eyes are starting to get attracted to look at a certain cube first. The same trick works if you were to play with the shapes, size, saturation, and motion. You can also mix and match these different techniques, but be intentional with what your main subject is, and use contrast to bring attention to it. Number 4. Bad value range. Value is arguably one of the most important elements when it comes to visuals. A good way to get a good looking result is to be sure to have a great underlying value regardless of what color palette you use. When looking at your game, use post-processing to turn your saturation all the way down. If your image still looks good after that, then you know you have a good value range. Generally, a good value range will show good contrast in light versus dark to help bring attention to your focal point. An easy way to get a good value range is to keep the majority of your values within the 20 to 80% range, and save the more extreme lighter and darker values for your brightest highlight and darkest shadows. Now keep in mind that the more saturated your color is, the darker the value becomes. Here's an image with 5 different shades of blue, all with the same hue and brightness, but different saturation. Now if I take the saturation away, you'll see that those with the more saturation actually appear darker, even though they were color picked to be in the same brightness of color. This is why it's important to have a good balance of saturation, because it affects the overall value range as well. Number 5. Weak silhouette. Silhouette is yet another super effective tool that helps add to a strong composition. A strong silhouette helps the viewers identify your subjects much quicker and thus grab their attention more. When compositing your scene, you want to use contrast and value to better bring out the silhouette of your subject. Using the squint test, you will be able to easily determine if your silhouette has a strong read. In this screenshot from the Avatar movie, you'll see how the bright clouds in the background help pop out the silhouette of the Banshee creature and the floating rocks. Because these silhouettes have a very strong and distinctive read, it helps the viewers very easily identify the subject and makes this composition overall more attractive to look at. Speaking of Avatar, did you know that I'm making an Avatar fan game? Well, the one with the element benders. If you want to see my step-by-step design process to bring Aang to life, go check it out. Number 6. Bad lighting. Lighting is the one element that ties everything together. Adding fog and volumetric lighting will often help convey mood, highlights points of interest, and adds depth and layers. For example, soft and bright yellow lighting paired with mist like this conveys a safe and relaxing morning, while subtle and dim green lighting paired with heavy fog conveys a mysterious and potentially dangerous encounter. Lights can also subconsciously direct the players to move towards their desired destination, and can often help inform players the state of the game. You see this a lot in games like the Resident Evil franchise, where light source is often strategically placed to help you navigate the otherwise maze-like level. On the flip side, light can also inform danger instead and discourage players from approaching. For example, Inside is a stealth game where the player's objective is to sneak through layers of danger, often indicated by bright and well-lit areas. Without proper lighting, even if you have the highest quality assets, your composition is going to feel flat and dull, so never overlook lighting. Number 7. Improper scale. I often see people overlook the importance of believable scale. You probably already know that a standard game character should be about 1.8 meters tall. But what about a 3-story building? Or a flight of stairs? Did you know that trees in real life are actually huge? Like, a pine tree is on average around 70 feet tall. That's almost 5 stories, or 12 characters tall. Doing a quick Google search on how big things actually are is one of the quickest and easiest way to make your game look better. Additionally, you want to always include different sizes of elements to help establish a better sense of scale for your viewers. This is a concept in art called the big, medium, and small. Coupling big objects like structures or mountainscape with medium objects such as boulders and trees, then adding some smaller scale objects such as pebbles and flowers, or man-made items such as pots and crates, will often be enough to inform the viewers about the true scale of your scene. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much of an impact this will do to your game if everything is more on par with their actual size in real life. Obviously, you don't have to match the scale 100% because sometimes you might want to exaggerate the look, but having a believable scale will really help your game feel more natural and professional looking. Number 8. Not using gradients. Gradients can help make everything look a little bit more compelling. Game developers often add gradients to help make otherwise simple textures feel more interesting to look at. League of Legends is a great example of cleverly using gradients that lightens up the upper portion of their models. This helps draw the player's attention to focus on the top of the assets, such as their characters' faces and important UI elements, thus making everything more readable in game. Other common uses of gradients include emphasizing mood, such as using purple and red for a sunset sky, or adding variety in your textures, such as using green and yellow for grass clumps. Even if it's subtle, it is one of the easiest ways to help make your game look better, so try to incorporate it whenever you can. Number 9. Lack of storytelling. Storytelling is an important element that is crucial to any type of media. Just like a movie without plot, a game without storytelling will often leave people feeling pointless and bored. When I say storytelling, I don't mean adding a storyline with cutscenes and complex conversations to your game. That's all cool and exciting and can help add to the experience, but not having it is not going to kill your audience. What I meant by storytelling is having an intention behind how you compose a scene. What's the mood? Is it creepy? Relaxed? Or feeling like a badass? What color palette should you use to help accentuate that mood? What emotions should the player feel? Where is this located? Do humans or other creatures inhabit this place? If so, what are the signs of their inhabitants? Could it be some trash or footprints on the ground? Or perhaps a few lit windows or smoking chimneys? The more world building questions you can answer, the more intrigued your players will be, and thus the more time they invest in your game. Number 10. Overlooking details. Indie game developers often wear multiple hats. Therefore, it can be difficult to spend too much time on details. So here are a few tricks that are easy to implement, but make a huge impact on the final visual quality. Trick number 1 is to break up straight lines. In nature, there are almost never any straight lines or visible patterns, yet human eyes are exceptionally good at catching them. By avoiding having too many straight lines in your environment, you will instantly make your scene feel more natural looking. This can be as simple as adding a few patches of grass on the bottom of an exterior wall, using landscapes or rocks to break up the horizon, or blending between meshes to hide your intersections. Trick number 2 is to break up patterns by layering noise. Human eyes are really good at spotting repeating patterns, but when you utilize noise to randomize these patterns, it suddenly becomes almost unnoticeable. For example, if I have one texture repeating across a large surface, the pattern is very easy to spot. Now, if I layer in a second repeating texture with a noise map to randomize where the second texture shows up, all of a sudden everything feels more natural to look at. The last trick I have for you is to add imperfections. This can be as simple as adding a few chips on straight long edges of your model, some cracks and holes on large plane surfaces, or adding some edge wear on your textures. In computer graphics, the more perfect something looks, oftentimes the more fake it starts feeling, so make sure to break it up a bit. If you're interested in how I was able to go from being a college dropout to a professional game artist, go check out this video right here, where I share with you 5 main actions I took to help me go pro in 3 short years. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you find this helpful. And with that said, I will see you all next time. Peace.